People have asked me how I set up my little juice groove jig. So here we go. First, router and secure your T-tracks into the base ply. The entire jig is built on a 24 by 36 inch, 3/4 of an inch ply. The side rail tracks are about 6 and 16 inches from the end. The end rail tracks are about 11 and 5 inches from the end. You can of course set your tracks where you need the best clamping for your boards. All of my side guides are hardwood, set an inch back on 3/4 of an inch thick, 2-inch wide bases. This sets a 2-inch center router bit 1 inch from the cutting board edge. The front and left edge guides are attached square to the ply. The adjustable guides are also hardwood, set 1 inch back, attached on a 3/4 of an inch base about 2 inches wide. I use long 1/4 of an inch T-bolts through 3/8 inch holes in the guide, to insert into the embedded T-tracks. Use fender washers under the knobs against the wood. Here is why we don't need an adjustable length guide on the right end. My jig is set up to allow the right end guide to set against boards about 11 inches or deeper. Once we set our board into the front left corner, and move the top guide into position, obviously the board isn't deep enough to allow the right guide against the board. I have smaller guide boards about 9 and 8 inches long, but you can also use much shorter guides if you are working on a very shallow workpiece using this method. Since we are using a router with a 2-inch center base, as long as the gaps between the ends of the short guide pieces and longer edge guide pieces are less than 2 inches, these smaller guides will work fine. You can see how you will only need a couple of smaller guide pieces. Use a couple of clamps that have been swapped into the push-open direction, and secure the smaller guide piece against the board and larger right-end guide. Here is a fresh end grain board we will cut with this setup. Here is the board ready to cut. With the 2-inch on center router base, and 1-inch standoff on the guides, the groove will be 1 inch centered from the edge of the board. You can adjust this distance with wood strips against all sides of the board. On the bottom, I used little scrap wood pieces for the corner feet, and 3/4 inch pieces for under the T-tracks, so their screws have more material to bite into. The whole jig can easily be stored out of the way.